Okay.
They were on the center stage yesterday, but today questions about how their deals with publishers over ebook prices.
And it shows just how important Apple is to really every medium, increasingly music, book publishing, all that. Very interesting story.
Thomas Catan joins us from Washington with more details on the story. Tom, tell us what's happening.
Well, basically, the Department of Justice has been investigating for, over a year now, certain pricing arrangements that Apple reached with the, 5 of the largest book publishers when it first rolled out the iPad. And now it looks like it thinks it has a good case against them. It's warned Apple and those 5 big publishers that it's preparing an antitrust suit against them for price fixing over ebooks. So some of those publishers are in talks with the Justice Department to settle that case. And some of them are, believe they've done nothing wrong and, are prepared to take this to court. We'll see if that resolve holds once some of them start to settle.
And Tom, your article today, it shows it's a complicated situation because if I read your reporting correctly, in some cases, this issue of agency pricing allowed them to do business with more than just Apple, which you would think would, in one way, perhaps be more competitive, not less.
Right. Well, what the publishers argue is that, look, before Apple came on the scene, all there was Amazon. And Amazon, under the traditional model, they would just be sold the books at a wholesale rate, which is normally about 50% of the cover price. And then Amazon could sell it at whatever rate it wanted. Amazon chose to sell these at $9.99 to get a lot of people buying its Kindle, basically following the model that Apple did with iTunes and, the music publishers didn't like. So music publishers were very wary about this and felt that they were devaluing the price of their books. People would get used to $9.99 books, would never pay more. And so Apple came along and did the reverse. They said, well, I'll tell you what, you set the price and we'll just take a 30% cut. But crucially, you can't sell to any of my competitors, Amazon or anyone else, at a lower price. And the Justice Department believes that basically set the stage for an industry-wide price rise. The $9.99 price point for new books largely disappeared, and they see collusion between Apple and the big 5.
And as part of this settlement, are we likely to see ebook prices change, or what do you think is going to come out in that way?
Well, at least on the face of it, they'll probably have to get rid of this prohibition of against selling to your rival more cheaply. And essentially what they've done is they've banned discounting. So that's going to have to go for the Justice Department to settle. The question is, it's a different time now. We're a couple of years on. Apple is not the, upstart in the book business anymore. It's got a strong foothold. Amazon is the leader, but isn't the 800-pound behemoth anymore. And Barnes & Noble used to say, well, we're taking a loss just to compete with Amazon because they're almost giving away these books. They're in a different position too. And I think they might be thinking, well, we can discount every now and again in a promotional way. So, they're really seeing what they can do without just, handing all the advantages back to Amazon again.
And one of those publishers is HarperCollins, along with the Wall Street Journal, is owned by News Corp. But Tom, tell us, are these publishers all in separate negotiations to settle here, or how's that going to work?
Well, it's a delicate dance because, some of them are more inclined to settle than others. The evidence is more damning for some than others. So that's going to be interesting. But I think it'll be difficult, once some of them start to say, well, fine, we did kind of, we did coordinate in ways that might not have been good or whatever they decide to admit to. It's going to be hard for the other ones to then say, no, we didn't.
Well, it's a good point. It's amazing how much the book publishing industry has changed in just a few years. Tom, as you just laid out, you're not talking about physical bookstores or owned by many different people as being the key distributor of books. You're talking about just a few electronic distributors as being essentially looks like the main future for book publishing.
Yes, but obviously no one can get too comfortable here. Amazon is starting publishing its own books without, doesn't need the publishers. That's a great threat to people. And so, I think a lot of publishers would sort of say, this is a tricky moment for us. Isn't it better to have slightly higher prices and more of us? Doesn't that mean more competition? And the Justice Department would say, well, how can there be more competition if prices are going up? That's absurd.